I'm the constable of St Lawrence. So thank you for turning out in quite a large number this evening.
Yes,
I was asked to chair this meeting, but I declined because I took the view that I should actually be able to listen in detail to all the comments that were being made this evening, whether they're in support of the proposition or otherwise. So I've made lots of notes so that I can go back to the next meeting of the Comité des Connetable. And so I can go back to the next meeting of the Comité des Connetables and report on what was said here. And that is what all of the constables will be doing. We're attending these meetings. This isn't a parish assembly, this is a public meeting, which is why it's open to people who don't live in the parish, and why people who don't live in the parish have had the opportunity this evening to voice their opinions on this. So because I've been asked, why aren't you chairing it, why is it that our deputy's chairing it, I needed just to explain that. I felt that I needed to be able to make in-depth notes. We've heard about consultation. Well, this actually isn't consultation, and Deputy Labby spoke to me about that when he said he was going to come and speak to all the parishes. It's about giving information. Consultation is when we express an opinion and we can have an impact on the outcome. I think you will be able to have an impact on the outcome by Deputy Morel listening to what you're saying here this evening, by me listening. We've got Senator Mezek, we've got Deputy Ayer, and of course the three members of the subcommittee of PPC. A lot of you have already expressed your views to me, so I know you know my view. That's another reason why I didn't want to chair this evening, because I don't support this. It's not going to impact upon me if this is carried in the States on the 24th of September. It won't affect me because this is my last term as constable. But to me, it will affect the way that parishes are the heart of the community, as we've heard from Karen. I'm not going into any detail about that, but it's information, not consultation. If you haven't spoken this evening and you want to express an opinion to me or anyone here, I'm sure we'll all be delighted for you to come up and speak to us afterwards. I know, what I don't know is how the proposition is going to be debated, because it's in sections. So I don't know whether the chairman of PPC will be proposing that it's taken on the day in sections, or whether it's taken in its entirety. And one more thing before he responds to that, you will have noticed in the handout, the wording of the proposition is that they refer to the Venice Commission's Code of Good Practice in Electoral Matters Guidelines. The Electoral Commission issues guidelines, and we are able then to decide whether or not we comply with those guidelines, and maybe the Deputy would just want to speak to that part of it. So thank you again for coming, and chat to me or anyone else at the end of the evening.
Just before we finish, I think it's quite a nice exercise I saw in Trinity, no?
No, I think it's a good idea, actually.
So I was just wondering if we could have it in the show of hands, absolutely.
Oh,
to
yes,
see,
okay. Yeah.
to see, first of all, whether you, as it stands, whether you agree with the proposition to move to this. If you put up your hands, please. Thank you. And if you disagree with this proposition.
I go back to my opening remarks in that this isn't the campaign, and when you might be interested to know that tomorrow we're meeting Mike Entwistle, who's the chairman of the referendum commission that we've set up now in Jersey, because I want to hear his thoughts on a referendum. I'm very open to that suggestion, and if we go down that road, and even before the the meeting of the states that will decide this proposition, whenever that is, there needs to be much more consultation. And I thought it's important to come to the parish halls first off, start to get the word out there. Every meeting we've held, whether it's with 3 or 4 deputies or with the senators at the Council of Ministers, here, Trinity, at every single meeting we hear something interesting to give us thought. And throughout, until we published, if we didn't publish this proposal, somebody else would have done. You know, a lot of people were saying within a year of the election we've got to answer these recommendations. So it would have happened anyway. But I believe every word of my proposition. I believe it's the right thing for the island. I would like to be able to. A lot of people in St Lawrence. Let me go back to the other one. A lot of people in St Lawrence, by far the majority, were against me when I said let's keep the status quo. They went for a super constituency, with St Lawrence being one of 4, not one of 3. So the information has to get out there. Maximum penetration with the young, with all sections of our community, and that will follow. And I just wanted to face up to you. I know the passion that exists. I know that people are stuck with things that they like about our system and don't want to change. I was that person too. I fully appreciate that. You've been very respectful. You've been very interesting. Thank you, John, so much for coming. It's been very informative. And as I say, we do take note of everything. Lisa's been writing everything down, and it's an evolution. It's an evolution, not a revolution. Thank you all. Good night.